Tailgate. The fine aroma of a soon-to-be Buckeye victory and Rothman searing his brats. Intoxicating. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show.
Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And presented by Curtis & Associates. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid.
Live from FanFest, here's Tim May, Dave Biddle, and Anthony Rothman.
Here we go. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Ohio State back to number one. And in the immortal words of Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School, look out for number one, but don't step in number two. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Anthony Rothman, Tim May, Dave Biddle. Boys, welcome back to campus, where possibly the parking is more expensive than the ticket today, but that's okay. We're here and loving it.
That's right. You can get in the door for what? They're saying $33. I think if you wait till closer to kickoff, it might be more like 20 or 10.
I think a couple upper decks I saw for $26. But yeah, and the thing is, you could take the on one of those ticket sites, you could take your finger and run it like a roulette wheel. I mean, it just kept going. So it'll be interesting to see how many people are actually in the stadium today.
We will talk certainly about last week and look ahead to this week, and also try to figure out about handling success. You don't get a game today where that is truly on the table about handling success, but I know the coaches feel that way. The coaches feel that they want to get their starters in and out today the best they can and see what they need to see to keep building that depth. I think the most popular question that we have faced all week is, what is the plan for the backups? Is there an ideal plan for them? You know, Ryan Day talked about taking it one play at a time, and I kind of joked on my show, did he mean one touchdown at a time? Because that's kind of maybe what we're expecting today. But you guys give me a thought on that. Is this an important day for the backups and for the coaches to make sure they see them?
For sure. Guys like Bo Jackson, I want to see him play a lot. He didn't play last week, and I know the coaches like him. It was just the way the game went last week. They only had 59 offensive snaps. They went with the top two running backs. But I want to see a guy like Bo Jackson play a lot today. Guys like Riley Pettijohn on defense.
Wait a minute. Do I even have to chime in here? You going to name everybody?
How about I just stop with those two? But I will say, I'll name one more guy. For the starters, it is important for them to get out of there and stay healthy. That's the number one thing. Get out of there early. But build confidence. If you're Julian Sand, you want to have a big day. You want to just continue to build confidence. And then, yeah, for sure, you want to get your starters out of there, keep them healthy, and then get a lot of young guys that are going to play. And Tim May's going to take you through the rest of the list.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's important. It is very important for Julian Sand to have many more meaningful possessions and let it and say, hey, last week we gave you this sports car, but you weren't supposed to touch this, this, and this, and hit the passing gear once. You know, let's let the thing warm up. Let's let you get used to the new track and all that stuff. Now he's used to the new track. He's used to the new car. And let him take it out there and fly. That's a euphemism for go fast. But you know, my buddy Clay Hall. You know, we do that the Tim May show featuring Clay Hall, and he kept bringing up Tavian St. Clair. Get him in there. I go, Clay, how about Lincoln Keno's? He's the backup quarterback. Get him in there first and let him do a thing. So there are a lot of players champing at the bit to get into this game today. You know that. But you know how Ryan Day operates. The bottom line is you got to get up. You got to make it clear. You don't go in with a defined, this guy's going in. You know, at this point, I'm talking about a third-string dude, second, third possession. Now, you could do that with a backup offense, a backup offensive line. But the bottom line is you want to win the surest way, as the old saying goes, and then move on from there. But, yeah, there are so many guys who busted their butt in spring, preseason camp, et cetera, who have lost their black stripes, who deserve to play. And this is the chance to see those guys, especially backup offensive linemen.
You know, for what's being called a fairly conservative game plan last week, I pointed out this week that there was more trust in Julian Sand than people want to probably admit last week. And I'll give you the examples. You know, you're 3rd and 3 on your own 8, and you throw a calm strike back to Max Clare, who had dropped the 4th down earlier. And the one that really kind of defined trust for me, especially in a game against Texas in a one-score game, 3rd and 3, you're up 7, under 4 minutes to go in the half, and he's calling play action in the shadow of his goal line and throwing from the end zone to Carnell Tate having a comebacker. You don't know whether that ball's getting tipped or whether someone could jump that route. And I'm telling you, old school tells you 3rd and 3, you might get it by running the football. He play actioned, and that told me he had a lot of trust, because what we were asking last week was the Ryan Day of the playoff, the throw the playbook out, swing for the fences guy, would we see him in this game? I said, you don't have to. It's all situational. But that told me a lot when they called that play.
Definitely. And there were other plays you could point to as well. There was a great pass he threw in the second half that Brandon Ennis, and Brandon Ennis is not going to drop many balls this year. JJ's not going to have games where he drops 2 balls. It just happened. But Julian Sayin threw an absolute dime to Brandon Ennis. Yeah. I mean, it was a perfect throw. And we all know JJ had the 2 drops I mentioned. Max Clare had a drop. So Julian finishes 13 of 20.
Right.
He would have been 17 of 20 if not for the drops. And then some of those drives would have kept going.
Oh, yeah.
So who knows what his stats would have looked
early.
like. I was very impressed with him. And the thing I was most impressed, his poise. He's a cool cat, and we know that. But even the coolest cats can get rattled in a situation like that.
Oh, yeah.
It never looked too big for him. So I think the Buckeyes are in great hands with
Texas was playing games up front just like Ohio State was, except Ohio State was playing new games. I saw a Jenga, a big-time giant Jenga set over there, and so Matt Patricia kept Texas off balance all day because we talked about this in pregame last week. I kept saying the real fly in the ointment for Texas was going to be Matt Patricia because that's not the defense they saw the last time they played. Ohio State's defense saw that offense with a new guy pulling the trigger, and they saw that defense in Texas. So that's what changing coordinators can do for you if you upgrade. And I think I'm not necessarily saying they upgraded a defensive coordinator, but they certainly didn't backslide, if you agree with me. But they've got a different guy calling the thing. And then with Julian saying, like you said, the run-pass option he had out of the end zone, 3 things can happen when you throw the ball out of the end zone, and 2 of them are bad. An incompletion. Well, you can have an incompletion or an interception, but also you can have a safety. And remember, the flag flew. But bottom line is, yes, that shows how much they like this guy. They do trust him to take care of the football, and he did that.
Even up 14-7 after Texas finally did score. There's 2.5 to go in that game. It's 3rd and 10.
Oh, yeah.
With 2.5 to go in the game, and they called a pass play. Now, they didn't complete it, but they tried to get the first down to seal the game. And so that tells me a ton in the mindset of the coach and the quarterback.
But I'm standing right there on the field, just right in front of me, and he throws the ball at the receiver's feet. I think it was a tight end, was covered. I think, looking back on it, they would like for him to maybe try to run for a couple yards and slide, keep the clock going.
Sure.
They basically gave Texas a timeout there. But yeah, there are all these things that you learn, little lessons you learn in the midst of a game when you're still acing the test.
No quarterback runs. And, again, they were able to win the game. And we don't need Julian Sayin to be out there like he's like Lamar Jackson, but pick up a cheap first down or 2. I think that's going to be big in big games. Not today. And you don't want him getting a hit. But to your point, there were times, it reminded me when C.J. Stroud was here, there were times you're like, you could just run for the first down and get out of bounds. It's safe. Pick up that cheap first down. I think they need to do that a little bit. I think this is a lot of that's Ryan Day not wanting his quarterbacks to get banged up for a long season. I'm just saying in big games, pick up a cheap first down or 2 with your legs. It's going to be big.
Yeah, sometimes a young quarterback is in his progression, and he doesn't want his first instinct to be take off. But I know exactly what you're saying.
Right.
When it's not there, the instincts have to be to become an athlete. Ryan Day loves that in his quarterback. If I need a first down, go get it for me. I don't care how you get it. But I just wanted to kind of illustrate a few of those plays along the way that showed me more trust than even I think people were anticipating.
Right, and another thing, obviously Will Howard down through the stretch there, the playoff run last year, he had a great running game they could lean on. I'm talking about with his running backs and stuff. That really didn't show up in the opener against Texas with a few exceptions. I thought when they got that first touchdown, when they put 4 tight ends on the field, and they're calling it 14 personnel. I said, no, it was 23 because they had a fullback in there, tight end impersonating a fullback. But the bottom line is, I went, boy, that's exactly what this offense needed, this offensive line needed, but they still never really totally controlled the line of scrimmage when it came to the running game. So a lot was on Julian in that game.
And they had the great running back tandem last year, there's no doubt. But I think Will being a running threat helped Travion and Quinshawn, and then helped them pick up cheap first downs. Not even cheap first downs, because you had to account for the quarterback run, and he was effective at it.
Well, it almost won him the first Oregon game, right?
Yeah.
It just was a half a yard on that slide.
I still say he got down and got his timeout called.
That wasn't pass interference, by the way. That was bad. That was a bad call. I'm totally over it. The Rose Bowl got me over it.
That was unbelievable.
We're good.
That was unbelievable what that call was.
It's not like it cost them a national championship or anything.
Let's not go back and replay the championship game.
Yeah, they got even.
Yeah, they did. And then
Don't get mad, get even.
That's right.
We have a kickoff forecast of expecting 70 degrees at 3:30. May just dip down to the high 60s by the end of the game. The winds will be interesting, about 12 miles an hour. A little breezy right now, but a beautiful fall day for football. We'll come back, visit with the voice of the Buckeyes, and set the scene for you. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Traffic is getting a little bit heavier around the stadium area. Right now, 315 north and southbound are still moving well, but you will start to see backups on those off-ramps to Lane Avenue. Ackerman Road also just a little bit. On the side streets, Lane Avenue is a pretty busy one right now between High Street and Kenny Road. Olentangy River Road a little more crowded between Lane and Kinnear. And a reminder, Woody Hayes Drive is closed between Tuttle Park and Cannon Drive. With Game Day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota. Now through September 30th, get 2.99 APR financing on a rugged new 25 Tacoma. Excludes TRD Pro and Trail Hunter. Or lease a well-equipped Tacoma SR5 for $269 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details. Or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, you mind keeping it down up there, please?
KeyBank will meet you in that I need new neighbors moment.
Rick, it's your mortgage loan officer, Beth. I was in the neighborhood and wanted to let you know your home loan application's been approved.
Beth, you're always there for me, and not a moment too soon.
Are your neighbors bowling with grand pianos again?
And apparently raising livestock?
Ugh.
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 399797.
Hey, Buckeye fans, it's Jeff Hogan, and I've got to say thank you. The way Central Ohio has welcomed me back has been amazing. I'm so excited to be back with the team here at 10 TV. These folks are the real deal, and together, we're here to bring you more of the stories that really matter to you and your family. Whether it's breaking news, weather that impacts your day, or just honest conversations, we're here for it all. I'll see you weeknights on 10 TV and 10 TV Plus. And again, it's really good to be back.
Your 10 TV team is stronger than ever. Jeff Hogan, Yolanda Harris, Station Knockin', Jerry Martz. 4 trusted names with a deep connection to Central Ohio. Together, they bring you more heart, more credibility, and more of the stories that matter to you. From breaking news to weather that impacts your day, to real conversations shaping your community. This is your news, your team. Watch weeknights on 10 TV and streaming anytime on 10 TV Plus.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder, bringing precision, creativity, and attention to every detail, just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV. No Ohio State fans simply can't get enough coverage of the reigning national champions.
So now there's even more of it on YouTube, thanks to the Austin and Berm Show.
Get daily coverage with me, Austin Ward, and my buddy Jeremy Birmingham on The Beat, Snap Judgments, and the weekly live show at Roosters presented by Tansky Power Sports.
Just search on YouTube or anywhere you download podcasts for the Austin and Berm Show.
It's Ohio State football all day, every day.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. And if you're gearing up for the big game, don't forget the MVP of desserts, Sanders Chocolate Fudge Bumpy Cake. This legendary treat just made its way to Ohio. Finally! We're talking rich devil's food cake, buttery cream bumps, and a fudge icing that is just unfair. They'd throw a flag on it if it was actually on the field. Bring one to your next tailgate, watch party, or even a team celebration, and you'll be the real hero. Available now at Kroger and Meijer, Sanders Bumpy Cake. It's game day greatness.
In Columbus, how you roll up on game day matters. And with Polestar are redefining the driving experience. The Polestar 3 isn't just an electric SUV. It's an SUV that drives like a sports car. Precise, powerful, silent enough to hear the crowd before you see the stadium. Drive it today at Polestar Columbus. Or visit polestarcolumbus.com for a test drive and to learn about our competitive lease offers.
Fan and weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Here for the Buckeyes game this afternoon, we're looking at sunshine and temperatures around low 70s here for today. There will be a bit of a breeze out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly clear and cool with lows down to the upper 40s. And then more sunshine here tomorrow, back to the low 70s here on your Sunday. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here with your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Typhus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, The Fan. The only way to get ready for the game. 1, 2, 3. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. It's time for the Big Daddy Report with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Now together to serve you better. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Doesn't matter who they're playing. You got to cherish these Saturdays at home. Columbus, Ohio, the Ohio State University. Maybe we just say the Grambling State University today for them. Give them that right out of the gate. The voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, with us. Good to have you, my man.
Very good, Anthony. I like that.
Let me ask you this. What were you most impressed with by Julian Sain? And I'll lead you a little bit. The early drops were so unpredictable by Claire and Jeremiah Smith. That can rattle a young quarterback. That could maybe get him off rhythm a little bit. It never did in my mind. And I just thought that was maybe an unsung part of early in that game, that it didn't affect him at all.
I would agree with you, Anthony. Also, the fact that now we didn't see Texas maybe get the kind of pressure that you would have expected with guys coming completely loose at him, but he didn't seem to be, when he had to move one way or the other, look to get rid of the ball or do something, he didn't seem rattled there either. So I would agree, and he just kind of, number one, and it sounds like the coaches took care of the football. That's the biggest thing.
Matt Patricia, there were a lot of people, myself not included, that were critical of him when he was hired. People were talking about, well, look what you do with the Lions as head coach. It's like, well, look what Urban Meyer, Nick Saban, and Steve Spurrier did in the NFL as head coaches. Furthermore, he's not coming here as head coach. But a lot of people were critical. You can't find those people anymore after 1 week. Matt Patricia, what a debut for him, Paul.
Dave, I think it was recency bias because of what happened with the Lions. And you look at his whole body of work. But maybe the thing that isn't getting talked about enough is the marriage with Larry Johnson, James Laurinaitis, Matt Guerrieri, and Tim Walton, and how they seemingly, not just the coaching staff, but the players, they all got on the same wavelength. They put together a plan. And, folks immediately, how it's all stats-driven. Well, like to see more sacks. Well, you also had to be concerned about a quarterback that could get out at the gate, too. So I think their plan was very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Tim Walton worked with him at one point, and
right.
So there was familiarity there. And Ryan Day, he's talked about this before. That's one of the things that put it over the top for him for bringing in Matt Patricia was it allowed him to keep that staff together. Because a lot of times when the top guy leaves, then you're going, well, shouldn't I be the next guy? And then when you don't get that job, what's going on with you now? And it allowed for great continuity with that staff with this guy who was going to come in. I call it more like he's now decorating the cake. These guys are baking the cake. But now he's putting his little decorations on it, and that was the difference in that game last week because Texas, you could see from the booth, right? They were confused about what
no question.
Arch Manning and even Steve Sarkisian with the play calling were confused about what they were getting.
Tim, I think what we've got to really address is the fact that look at the decisions that Ryan Day's had to make as a coach with staff. He had to make tough decisions. Especially after the loss at Oregon here a few years ago. He's had to make tough decisions at the end of seasons to not bring guys back, but he's been very calculated with the decisions he'd made about bringing people in that were going to fit their system, that were going to work well with the other staff people.
Now, I think you agree. I think the one misstep, which hurt him a little bit, was bringing Kerry Combs back as defensive coordinator.
As coordinator.
That's what I'm saying. Not bringing him because what a great recruiter,
yes.
et cetera. And, that's when you grow up as a head coach is when you step away from friendship and everything else and you go, I've got to make this for the good of the team, for the good of the program, heck, for the good of me.
Because ultimately it falls on the guy making the hires.
But I think since then every hire's been a home run in my opinion.
Yeah, and Kerry Combs is a great coach.
Oh,
and he's shown that over the course of his time, high school and college. But I think that's one of the things that this business is so transitional. It's become transitional with players now. But these coaches and we've heard all these coaches for years talk about. They're always thinking about if this guy leaves, who's next on my list? Who are the next 2-3 people on my list? And that's part of the job that Ryan Day really has hit home runs with.
The other decision he made was to go with Julian Sain over Lincoln Kienholz, and in his own words, it was close. How important, Paul, do you think it is today to see Kienholz throw some passes, maybe a good handful of them, because Ryan Day says we may need him, and also the last time we saw him was a very forgettable Cotton Bowl game.
No. You know what, Anthony? Ohio State made a mistake in their notes. Lincoln played in 2 games last year, but he had no stats.
That's
all
right.
he did was hand off.
That's what I mean, throwing passes.
But yes, throwing passes. Yes, you're exactly right there.
He did take snaps.
He took snaps against Western Michigan and against Tennessee. But it's important, and if we are to believe that he did push the issue, then obviously that sharpened Julian Sand. And when you see Lincoln Kienholz, he looks like a completely different young man. He's bigger, he looks stronger. But remember, and you guys know, this kid, yes, he came from South Dakota. However, 3 state titles in football, batted over 400 in baseball, averaged 19 points a game in basketball. This is a kid that's an incredible athlete. He's in his 3rd year in the program, and it's important to get him some snaps. If it works out, they even get Tavian St. Clair some snaps, but still preserve his red shirt. But so many other people as well. But it would be crucial to get Lincoln Kienholz some meaningful snaps because, as he and the coaching staff said, he was not ready to be thrown in the Cotton Bowl when he was.
He was not.
Philip Daniels, what an interesting character. We got a chance to interview him this past Wednesday. More importantly, he's done a great job winning that right tackle job. You talk to the staff, it's not like Ethan, they didn't think he was bad. They just thought Philip just went to work this summer. He's very physical. I thought he'd be the 6th man, and Ethan would be the starter. No, it's the other way around. Philip Daniels, your thoughts on him so far?
Yeah, I think that was a great move, and what we saw is it allowed now Ethan Onyeonwa got some reps at guard.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're seeing, and last year kind of bore this out, Dave, that they need guys to have flexibility, the guys that can play more than one position. You know, you can't come in and just be a tackle. You can't come in and just be a right tackle. And so now an area that usually depth is a question, especially when you're talking about young players, now you've got that, not just with the starting 5, but then others. I know Van Sickle, somebody they're kind of high on as well, too. So, but Philip Daniels is done, and this is a guy that played a fair amount at Minnesota. His bloodlines are pretty good when you consider Paris Johnson, his cousin.
Yep.
Played at a great program at Princeton High School in Cincinnati. So what a great find this has been.
Absolutely. And, Colin Simmons of Texas is vaunted defensive end edge guy. In 2 games now, he's had 0 sacks against Ohio State. I mean, and, of course, he and Daniels got into that trash-talking thing. It was mainly Simmons giving the trash talk, and Daniels kind of looking at him like, basically we'll see what happens in the game, so to speak. And, Ohio State handled that 2 games in a row.
They did. And Texas had, just like Ohio State, replacing key parts on that defense.
Right.
But when you consider the guys they had, that was impressive, too.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, before you get out of here, Caden McDonald. I mean, everybody talks about throughout preseason. I kept reminding people, Caden McDonald and Edric Houston played a lot last year.
They did,
but especially Caden McDonald on those goal line stands that you remember. He was part and parcel to all of those. And boy, did he step up! I mean, you talk about a play that needed to be made. He and Edric Houston were right in the middle of that goal line stand. What was your take on that?
Well, and this was what you were hoping, the reps they got last year. And this goes all the way back to when Jim Heacock was the coach here in the defensive line, establishing depth, playing a number of players, keeping the first-line guys fresh, and I think that's what they did. By the way, we talk about all of the distinguished alums that came out of Grambling in sports. I got one for you. I don't know if you were familiar with Tommy Agee.
Oh, yeah.
Miracle Mets is 69.
Yeah.
That I would not have called.
I thought you'd appreciate
I'm aware of that.
I very much appreciate
guess
that.
what? All week I've been acting like Curly Culp came out of Grambling.
And Erica Badu came from Grambling, if there's music fans.
Yes.
Hey, Buck Buchanan.
I didn't know that, but I know Erica
fans.
Badu. Yeah.
Willie Davis, grandfather of Wyatt Davis, came out of Grambling.
But I thought you guys would like Tommy Agee.
That is good.
The Cub fan won't like that, but
no. Or the Orioles fans that Agee helped beat in the 69 World Series.
Give me a quick 30 seconds. Anything jump off the page to you on what you're hearing about what Grambling brings to the table today?
They forced a bunch of turnovers last week. Again, they played an NAIA program.
Right.
But, again, that kind of makes you think what the message has been for Julian saying, take care of the ball.
Absolutely. All right, you take care.
They got a nice quarterback,
always,
too. They got a nice quarterback.
Pleasure as always, guys.
Here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels. Our segment sponsored by The Waterworks, heating, cooling, and plumbing, now together to serve you better. All right, we'll come back with He's So Money. Which one of the backups will be a headliner today? We'll tell you next on the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
315 north and southbound are pretty popular spots right now, and we'll continue to see volumes build as we get closer to kickoff. Right now they're moving with moderate volumes and some slowdowns as you get to the off-ramps for Lane Avenue and Ackerman Road particularly. Olentangy River Road is seeing some brake lights between Lane Avenue and Kinnear Road. Kenny Road between Kinnear and Lane also busy, and Lane Avenue is pretty slow between High Street and 315. With Game Day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
What's better than cheering the Buckeyes on to victory? Wearing our exclusive collection of OSU jewelry as you watch. Hi, this is Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. We're an officially licensed jeweler of The Ohio State University, and we've created beautiful Buckeye jewelry that will last a lifetime. From Blocko earrings to Diamond Script Ohio necklaces, we've got luxury Buckeye gifts starting at $99. No matter where you're watching, show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When it comes to trucks, Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through September 30th, get 1.75 APR financing or $3,000 customer cash on a powerful new 25 Tundra. Excludes TRD Pro. Or you can lease a 25 Tundra SR Crewmax for $409 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Relationship benefits at KeyBank reward you for things you were going to do anyway, like using your KeyBank checking account 5 times each month. You could unlock higher interest rates, more cash back, and loan discounts. Now, imagine getting rewarded for other things you were going to do anyway, like high-fiving. Yes. Calling your mom. Hello. Or petting cute dogs. If only. Learn how simple it is to get benefits when opening a checking account at key.com/relationship. KeyBank opens doors. All credit products subject to credit approval. KeyBank, member FDIC.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne. And Jacoby Bourne. When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit bournebrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs. Taking out the trash.
Common Man and Timmy, they're good, clean boys. If you enjoy a radio show hosted by immature men with slightly above average sports knowledge, they've got you covered.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At Kemba Financial Credit Union, we care about you. Consumers like you say they don't want monthly fees for checking, and we listen. Introducing hassle-free checking with no monthly service fee. Use it as an easy place to deposit and transfer your money, along with your everyday banking needs. Plus, Kemba's expansive digital banking services make it easy for you to bank how you want. At Kemba, we're always thinking of ways to put you and your finances first. Visit Kemba.org, federally insured by NCUA. Restrictions apply.
Still on a high from the win last week? Come to campus on game day and enjoy live music, food, and fun at the 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV tailgate at the O Patio and Pub on Lane. The party starts at 9 and continues on throughout the game. See why over 10,000 people came to party with us last week. Be at the O on Lane this Saturday. Proudly sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Coors Light, Behind the O app, and Jameson Whiskey. Football season is here, and so is tailgating season. Are you ready? If not, let Columbus Car Audio and Accessories help you get the latest and best accessories for your ride. Upgrade your sound system so everyone around can hear what team you're rooting for. Add mobile video and never miss a game on the road. Add style and privacy with window tint, and avoid scraping ice this winter by adding a remote starter. Choose Columbus Car Audio and Accessories when it comes to customizing your ride. Morse Road near Easton, Main Street in Reynoldsburg, or columbuscaraudio.com.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The water's standing in the tub. My toilets will not flush. The smell's getting bad in here. I need help in a rush.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Jacob Reimer. Week 2 of the college football season is here. The now top-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes return to action in Ohio Stadium as they host Grambling State today in the first ever meeting between the two programs. Kickoff will be at 3:30, and coverage can be found right here on The Fan. A full slate of games today, some live score out there. The Cyhawk game is underway in Ames, Iowa. Iowa State is up 3-0 on Iowa after the first few minutes. In Durham, Duke has an early 3-0 lead over number 11 Illinois, and SMU leads Baylor 10-0 in the first quarter in Dallas. Later today in the Big Ten, number 6 Oregon hosts Oklahoma State at 3:30, and Michigan is in Norman visiting Oklahoma for a primetime Big Ten SEC clash. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The sausages are sizzling. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show. Proud to be the flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. He's so money.
Sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union.
All right, here we go. Sun-splashed Saturday here, Columbus, Ohio. Best damn band in the land. Getting ready to march through. That one summer at band camp for Tim May really paid off as well.
Got that right, baby. Is this alumni band day also?
Oh,
yeah. Be Grambling State Band.
I think we got
alumni band.
The alums actually marching through
and
right
then,
now.
To Biddle. By the way, my day started off watching three-year-olds. Was it when you put the ball in the T-ball practice?
T-ball practice.
My youngest grandson, Charlie, man, he was out there getting after it.
That's awesome. That wasn't even a game. You're out there like T-ball practice.
No,
that's a good grandpa right there, man. That's a good grandpa right there.
3-year-old T-ball practice.
3-year-old. I didn't even start T-ball till like I was 5.
I think it's easier to teach those guys how to read than it is to play baseball.
I didn't know they started T-ball that. So he's gonna be a stud baseball player.
Anything that makes money,
right?
Anything that makes money, I guess.
Oh yeah, he's probably gonna walk himself into an NIL deal here in a couple of years.
You got that right. You got that right. Hey, did you see where the Grambling State band PA guy has an NIL deal? The guy who does the PA
for him.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, good work if you can get it.
Nice gig.
Well, listen, Ohio State stroked a check for $1 million for this game right back in February, so
That's
this
a
one's
bargain.
bought and paid for.
That's a bargain.
That's right.
Might be a bargain.
Good for Grambling.
Maybe what's not good for Grambling is facing the secondary that may be the best in America. Your thoughts on that, Bids, with IGB and Jermaine Matthews, who, by the way, had blanket coverage there. It was probably the best play in Texas's of the game last week for them. And then Caleb and Jalen McClain and Lorenzo, they really, it's this defense I know as a whole, and Matt Patricia certainly was pushing all the right buttons last week, but boy, does he have the talent now.
Yeah, Anthony and Tim, I thought last year there was no question Ohio State was BIA. They lived up to their nickname, best in America in the secondary. And you're thinking, okay, well, they're going to lose Denzel Burke. I know he's a fifth-round pick, and it maybe wasn't what we expected as a senior, but still 4-year starter. Jordan Hancock was fantastic, and Lathan Ransom was fantastic. But I was still bullish on this DB group coming in, but, man, they looked even better than I thought last week. IGB, as you mentioned, there was one time in the end zone looked like he was going to arm bar or hook the guy, and then he pulled it away, made a nice play. He was all over the field tackling. Jermaine Matthews was basically a starter last year. He wasn't technically a starter. He looks great. He had the interception, and then it was like, whoa, how's Jalen McClain going to do fill in for Lathan? Because Lathan was fantastic last year. And he's not going to be Lathan right now as a sophomore, but, I thought Jalen McClain was really, really good. So, you bring in Devin Sanchez is playing a lot for a true freshman.
Yep.
Yes, I'll be surprised, guys, when we look back on this. If this is not the best secondary in America, if it's not the best, it's going to be one of the best.
You know what's funny is if you watched that North Carolina game, what was that, Monday night?
Yeah.
But you watch the North Carolina game, they get the ball and go down and get a touchdown. They come out the first possession on defense, or the first series on defense. They lined up exactly like Ohio State did in that first possession. 5-6 guys up on the line of scrimmage, zone blitz, got after the guy. I think made a pretty good play. The big difference was I don't know who's yelling at us, but the big difference was Matt Patricia had the people he was working with, which is the Ohio State talent pool, and Bill Belichick has the North Carolina talent pool, and boy, could you tell the shallow pool versus the deep pool. And, of course, Bo Atkinson could have been playing on that North Carolina defense. Instead, he's playing for Ohio State and went in for Kenyatta Jackson. I thought he played pretty well.
I thought so, too. That's a good point. He must have been watching that North Carolina game thinking, not that he wasn't already happy here. He must be thinking, thank God I made the right choice.
Yeah.
Well, the other part about, some of the young guys, and I think that's going to be cool for Buckeye fan to see some of their young players. And even, I know it's not sexy, but the offensive line, it'd be nice to get some backups in there and build some depth and obviously protect your starters.
No doubt about it. That's a great point because they like their backup offensive line. Paul was talking earlier. They like Gabe Van Sickle in their guard. They have a true freshman. They like him, Jake Cook, local guy from Pickerington, who was like a 3-star, and he's already making waves. Not that he's going to play a lot this year. He in fact, will probably redshirt. But Ian Moore is another one they like. Yeah. Obviously, Ethan Onimon probably the highest paid sixth man on any team in the country. I think he's getting about 7 figures to be the sixth man. And I'm leaving some guys out too. Josh Padilla at center. They really like their backup offensive line. Yeah, I think we're going to see those guys play a lot today.
I agree 100%. And it's important that they do because remember I asked Ryan about this early in camp. You got those two backup offensive line coaches they brought in, as I call them.
Yes, that's right.
I keep referring to
Johnson and Dickey.
Yeah. But it's amazing watching them work with this group. Almost every playing group or every position has an actual coach coaching them. And so to watch the way they work together and then under the direction, it starts with Brian Hartlam, it goes on down the line. But I really like the depth. And Ryan talked about that. He feels as good about the depth on the offensive line as he has in a long time. Then you throw in there the tight end group where they played 5 tight ends against Texas last week.
And normally a guy like Roberts as a true freshman would not be playing when you have those 4 guys ahead of him. But he's so good they can't keep him off the field.
He had the lead block.
We talked about this last week, Tim. And Anthony. This is probably, I don't know, they probably have had better tight ends. Like John Frank, I think, is the best tight end to ever come through here. Ricky Dudley. 1 through 5, I've never seen anything like this. Right. I've never seen anything like it. Getting Max Clare was like a luxury item because they really like Kazmarek and Bennett Christian and Johnny Thurman and Roberts. Then you bring in Max Clare, the number 1 tight end from the portal. Life is good for Keenan Bailey, huh?
I'm glad that Tim noted that because I was about to say when you mentioned Nate Roberts, 6'5", 240, he and Bennett Christian were the ones that opened that hole for that touchdown for CJ early in the game. So
4 tight ends
that was
on the
very
field.
big.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
23 personnel. That, like you said, those guys. One was really a fullback.
Correct. I like to say, well, why can't they just? Why are they so averse of calling a guy a fullback in this? Ever since Urban showed up,
I don't know.
They've
the
never
fullback
had a
back.
fullback.
I know.
But they always have what I call a cheater fullback, which is a tight end.
Like Mitch Rossi.
They use tight end fullback fundamentals all the time, even when the guy lines up on the tight wing and stuff and goes. They run ISO plays and lead like Nate Roberts led C.J. Donaldson through the hole on that play. That's old check back Charlie to Jamar Martin and all those guys.
I love it.
Yeah, this should be an interesting game to be able to get to see some of these guys a little more than what we're used to, maybe over the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And, it's Ohio
backup receivers, man.
Yeah, Mylan Graham should be able to get in there. And
Quincy Porter and Bryson Rogers.
I want to see Quincy Porter
It's crazy how deep they are, man.
Absolutely.
It's for these guys, it doesn't matter. It's a stat game for a lot of people, but for these guys, it means something. I thought you asked a great question, the one in the press conference right off the bat this week, when you asked you mentioned Urban, you asked Ryan Day about, what did CJ do to earn the start? And the question was good. The deflection was better.
Yeah, you texted me that. That's right.
Because I will tell you that, and I understood what Ryan Day was saying. We're going to need them both. Right. He started. The other guy's going to get carries too. You never know who's going to have the hot hand. But I did think it's important to know in that game, the opener in the shoe against the number 1 team in the country in Texas, what did he do to earn that? Because for the kid, it matters. For the coaches, it may be interchangeable, but for that kid, it did matter.
Yeah, and he wasn't going to embarrass James Peoples, and they like James Peoples, but he said, James was in there for like 10 carries. I don't know how many CJ had. Well, he had 19, and he had more than twice as many snaps as James Peoples. So I think and that's another one I was wrong about. I thought Peoples was going to be the starter, Donaldson was going to be the backup. Both guys were going to play a lot. But the pecking order was flipped.
The more I analyzed, the more I thought about it, I think you don't want to be this simplistic about things. Just these 2 guys are not like the other 2 guys, right? But C.J. Donaldson, I think, reminds him a little bit more of Quinshon Judkins from a power running aspect of things, maybe be able to run through some tackles, and I think he did that quite a few times on last week. There was just no place to go. It was clear from the start that Texas was determined to take the run game away from them and dare you to put the ball in the hands of your quarterback, first-time starter, and throw the ball 30 times. And Ohio State didn't take the bait.
I think you're right. I think it was a physical game. They knew they were going to go up against a Texas defensive front that was going to be physical, and they started a little more of their hammer, and he played well, and certainly you had to spell him a little bit, but I think that was it. And I don't think that would have been wrong for him to answer it that way, but it was very good that you asked that out of the gate because it was such a high-profile game, and it was such a game you wanted and needed to win in your mind, and he did get the start. I thought that was important. He's So Money, sponsored by Kemba Financial Credit Union. When we come back, we'll visit with the big man, Jim Lache, and we'll set the scene as the Buckeyes expect to go 2-0 this week. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
Over about the last 15 minutes, I've seen volumes really pick up on northbound 315. It's very busy from the King Medical Center exit to Lane Avenue. Once you're off the highway on Lane Avenue particularly, it's very heavy from 315 to High Street. Also in that stretch, there are a lot more pedestrians out and about, so keep your eyes open for that. Olentangy River Road has increased volume from Lane to King, and Ackerman has had some traffic volume pick up between Kenny Road and 315. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on the Fan.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student-athlete. Football runs deep in my family. My dad played here, and now my brother and I are proud to carry on that tradition. At Monogram Homes, family matters too. They treat every homeowner like one of their own, building with care, precision, and pride. Monogram doesn't just build houses, they build homes, crafted just for you. So whether you're starting your first home or designing your dream space, Monogram Homes has got your back every step of the way. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Hey Buckeye fans, it's Jeff Hogan, and I've got to say thank you. The way Central Ohio has welcomed me back has been amazing. I'm so excited to be back with the team here at 10 TV. These folks are the real deal, and together we're here to bring you more of the stories that really matter to you and your family. Whether it's breaking news, weather that impacts your day, or just honest conversations, we're here for it all. I'll see you weeknights on 10 TV and 10 TV Plus. And again, it's really good to be back.
Your 10 TV team is stronger than ever. Jeff Hogan, Yolanda Harris, Station Knockin', Jerry Martz. 4 trusted names with a deep connection to Central Ohio. Together, they bring you more heart, more credibility, and more of the stories that matter to you. From breaking news to weather that impacts your day, to real conversations shaping your community. This is your news, your team. Watch weeknights on 10 TV and streaming anytime on 10 TV Plus.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime at Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
If you're itching for a new vehicle this fall, you have to go see my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Hey, it's Anthony. I drive an awesome Ridgeline, and you can drive home the rugged 25 Ridgeline Sport with 0% APR or lease for as low as $299 a month. Or go for the looks and reliability of a 2025 Honda Accord LX, just 3.99% APR, or lease it from only $199 a month. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270, and GermainHondaofDublin.com.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward.
Can't get enough Ohio State conversation?
Good, because the Austin and Berm Show simply can't stop talking about the Buckeyes. Monday through Friday, in season or out of season, The Beat with me and Jeremy Birmingham breaks down every angle with the reigning national champions on 10 TV Plus and on the 97.1 The Fan YouTube channel.
Every day is game day with The Beat.
And the conversation about the Buckeyes there is always available for fans on demand. Don't miss a single episode.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show, getting you ready for the Buckeye game. Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. It's time to check in with Buckeye color analyst and president of the Large Hand Society, Jim Lache.
Absolutely. When the stage tilts right, we go to our big man. He is the best. He is Jim Lache, legendary Buckeye All-American, former Super Bowl champ. And welcome, Jim. Great to see you, my man.
Another great day for football, right? I mean, this one's moved back to 3:30. A little cloudy this morning, but this is fabulous and going to be a fun day. You know, get the alumni band here and see what quadruple script Ohio. So I'm looking forward to all the excitement.
Are they going to do Grambling too? They got enough ink. They could spell out Grambling, couldn't they?
They probably could. Yeah,
Grambling State.
Ink. I got it. Yeah.
Jim, you've been in games like this where you've got to kind of handle success, but you get an opponent where it's, let's call it what it is. It's kind of a show up and win game. Coaches don't want that. They want a great first half so they can get their guys in. But what are these starters thinking today going into this game?
Well, if I'm a player, I'm looking at having a perfect game, right? So I want to grade out 100% if possible. Now, coaches never give you 100%, but you want to be perfect. And, what is a grade? I mean, great technique. So you want to make sure your steps are right, your pad level's right, using your hands right, if I'm talking about offensive line play. And then, obviously the other part of that grade is getting your assignment done. So technique and assignment, finishing your blocks, getting to that next level, and getting your back some plays or some yardage running the football. And, pass blocking, same type thing. You want to be perfect. You don't want to, give up any hits on the quarterback, any sacks. Last week they had a no-sack day. So you really kind of, you don't look at who you're playing. You look at what I have to do. And I think that's what has been emphasized this week. Go out there and take care of business and get the job done.
Phil Daniels winning that starting right tackle job and just bringing a physical brand of football out there, Jim. That's got to be fun to see. And I heard, during camp when there were fights, Philip Daniels was always in the middle of things. I love hearing that about a right tackle. Your thoughts on Phil Daniels?
Well, he was a former defensive lineman in high school. I heard him quoted as thought he was going to be the next Chase Young here at Ohio State. So he's an offensive lineman with a defensive lineman's mentality, and you like that. You like that, especially at right tackle. Most teams are predominantly right-handed, and, he's going to get a lot of blocks right behind him. And he had a pretty good game, that opening game. Things to improve on. Everybody knows that. With technique and things like that. But, he's a guy that battled hard. Ethan Oniawa was a guy that they thought were going to be plugged in at that left tackle spot. Then he took some reps at right tackle. Now he's playing a little bit of right guard with Tegra Shabola. But, Philip's got to keep taking that next step, continue to get better and make sure that, when coaches watch that film that they know, hey, that's my job. I got this handled. But first week was pretty good. He's got to continue on that path these next several weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you can cajole nasty, but I don't think you can definitely teach nasty. I think a guy has to have it in him a little bit, right? That's not my real question, but I wanted to ask you that.
No, it is. I mean, that's, you have to be on the offensive line. You got to think bad thoughts about the guy you're playing against, you want to beat him up as physically as you can, so when the fourth quarter, when you put your four fingers up, your guy's worn out because you beat him up. And, it's...
Yeah.
I could tell you some stories. I mean, you're stepping on hands, you're stepping on toes, you're stepping on legs.
Yeah.
Whatever you have to do to wear that guy out a little bit, you're going to do. And, because it's going to get done to you, right? So you're in a mano-a-mano fight each and every time, and you got to beat him up. And I think Phil, obviously he understands that.
Yeah, you're looking more to make waffles than you are pancakes.
Exactly, right. You beat him up.
Real quick, when they go first or fourth and goal at the goal line, 4 tight ends in the game, wide receiver no wide receivers in the game. You got Nate Roberts at fullback, C.J. Donaldson at running back. My point is this: how soon did you really recognize that? And number two, what kind of statement was that? Do you think, just to the whole team, the Ohio State team, much less everybody else, that fourth and goal, they're going for it, and they're putting 4 tight ends on the field to do it.
We're going to get a yard.
Yeah.
We can get a yard. We trust our offensive line.
How important was it to do it then?
Yeah, we tried. Well, Brian Hartline, Ryan Day being a quarterback, wide receiver. When they're playing days, now they're coaching, hey, let's get all the big guys in there and go heavy, 14 personnel. Yeah, I saw Nate Roberts jogging out there. I'm like, okay, where are they going to line this guy up? And they end up lining in fullback there in the I formation. And basically he followed a great double-team block. Anytime when you get in those situations, the goal for an offensive line is to take your guy 1 or 2 yards deep into the end zone because that should be enough to score. You got to cross that line. And our guys were able to do that against a really good Texas defensive line. And that paid off. C.J. was able to get in that end zone. But look on the other hand, Texas tried that quarterback sneak. They got blown up, right in the backfield right away. Couldn't get his feet underneath him. End up, turning the ball over there. It's kind of twice now since we played Texas. They've had some red zone goal line situations where they weren't able to find a way to get in the end zone. So that's very positive. And if you ask, any offensive lineman, we had Luke Montgomery on Thursday, the coach's show. I go, what did you rather do, run block or pass block? He goes, well, run block.
Yeah.
I mean, that's universal. It never changes.
I like what you said a while ago, their quarterback instead of Arch Manning.
Yeah. Well,
can you imagine being Arch Manning Saturday, especially in the first half of that game when it was clear even the coaches were confused, much less him?
Well, they got he's got a lot thrown at him,
right?
And credit, Matt Patricia and that whole defensive staff. Remember, Tim Walton was a coordinator in the NFL.
Exactly.
Matt Guerrieri was a coordinator. So they've got some brain power in that room. Larry Johnson been around forever. I think he's had 16 Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year.
James Laurinaitis.
Yeah, James Laurinaitis. He understands what he has to do, and they got some brain power over there, and that certainly paid off against them. And it was stacked a little bit, but that's got to continue each and every week.
Yeah.
Week 1's done. Now it's on to week 2, and you kind of erase what happened and got to go out there and perform again.
I felt they won, Jim, every big moment of the game almost. Obviously, Texas got in the end zone, but it felt like that if you just stacked up all the big plays of the game, they won them, and they kept momentum. Even when they were protecting that 7-point lead at the end, and drama was coming. How did you feel in the booth at that point? 14-7, Arch has the ball. They're moving it a little bit. What was going through your mind?
Got to get a stop. Obviously, that was the key, or hold them to a field goal attempt. But down 7, they're going to. It's 4-down territory. They're going to try to make a play, not knowing they're going to get the ball back. But going back to Ohio State, that 4th and 1, that was a gutsy call there. You got a freshman quarterback. And you decide to pass. And I'm like, okay, play action. You kind of should have had that same mentality you had near the goal line. We can get one here. Yeah. But they, took a shot, didn't come up with a catch and, had a wide open Jeremiah Smith look like. And, again, his eyes were probably, saw him right away, but thinking, okay, I'm going to just get the first down. And then, we didn't come up with the football there and had to turn it over downs. Of course, I immediately said, well, maybe we should have punted there. If you don't convert, it's easy to say that. But these games, big games like Texas last week, you got to play field position type games. I could see today, Ohio State had 57 plays last week. I could see them going up tempo, playing fast. They want to get maybe 60, 70 plays in this ball game.
Yep.
Maybe into those 70s, just so they can go out there and get a lot of guys to play. I mean, that's of course, but you got to take care of business, right from the first series all the way throughout that first half for that opportunity to come.
Well, maybe they'll crease a couple, too. Maybe we could have a short show. Hey, what do you think of Jeremiah Smith returning punts? What's your whole idea?
Yeah, that was awesome. And, again, it just goes to show you that when your best guys are playing special teams, everybody buys in, right? Some starters like, hey, I don't do special teams anymore. Like, no. Jeremiah's doing it. Caleb's doing it. Arvell Reese is doing it. Sonny's been able to do it throughout his career. Everybody's got to buy into special teams, and when you have Jeremiah back there, it gives the confidence to everybody on that return team that, hey, man, if I hold my block for like a second or two, he's got the ability to break one.
But, boy, the internet headline, I mean, what is wrong with Jeremiah Smith returning punts? I don't even understand. Here's a guy that goes over the middle and gets popped, from the blind side, but he's going to get hurt returning a punt much more,
You can get hurt on any play.
Of course you can.
It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
So, if anything, he's used to catching balls.
Caleb Downs returned the punt last year for a touchdown,
Yeah, I know. And those guys are trained to do that.
Right.
More than anybody, to kind of feel the hit and see it and see what's coming and either running the routes. He's highly capable of doing that. Yeah, I mean, devil's advocate, if something happens, he gets hurt. I'm like, why was he back there?
Right.
Well,
why was he running over the middle on a pass route? You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Same argument. Brandon Ennis,
When the Commanders were called the Redskins, we had this guy named Darryl Green.
Yes.
And when we called him Pee Wee on the team, but we brought Pee Wee out there to return punts. Everybody blocked a little harder.
Yes.
And he kind of, would have the knack to take it to the house.
Maybe the fastest man in football at that point, wasn't
man, he could
close.
Run.
And he played till he was like 40, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez, that guy was
4.2, 4.3, and 40. It just, unbelievable.
Jim, it's the basic rule. When a home run hitter is up, the outfield moves back a little bit.
You're right.
They just do.
Yeah, and you get on your head.
That's right.
You start thinking, okay, this could go bad.
Yeah.
When you got
Shortstop's
bad
deeper.
thoughts, things will happen. But good analogy there, Anthony.
Thanks, bud.
Right.
Good to see you. Have a great walkover.
All right, I will.
It's our friend Jim Lache, the All-American. And when we come back, well, they beat Texas, so now we can actually ask the question. We'll tell you what that is next. This is the Curtis and Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't they don't get paid unless you get paid right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
State Route 315 around the Ohio State University campus is definitely a busy spot right now. Northbound, you'll start to see brake lights around the King Medical Center exit, and that takes you all the way up to Ackerman Road. On the southbound side, crowded between Ackerman and Lane. Lane Avenue is very slow from Kenny to High Street. Kenny Road is slow between Lane and Kinnear, and Olentangy River Road has brake lights between King and Lane Avenue. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a stylish new 25 Corolla or 5.75 on Corolla Hybrid. Excludes Corolla Cross and GR Corolla. Or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey Columbus, it's Lorenzo Stiles Jr., Ohio State student athlete. It's football season, and just like on the field, success starts with the right game plan and the right team. That's why I'm proud to team up with Monogram Homes. They're the true custom home builder, bringing precision, creativity, and attention to every detail, just like we do on Saturdays. If you're ready to build, don't settle for standard. Go custom. Go Monogram. Visit monogramhomes.net to start building today. Monogram Homes, a builder you can trust.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis and Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis and Associates. Attorneys who care.
Still on a high from the win last week? Come to campus on game day and enjoy live music, food, and fun at the 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV tailgate at the O Patio and Pub on Lane. The party starts at 9 and continues on throughout the game. See why over 10,000 people came to party with us last week. Be at the O on Lane this Saturday. Proudly sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Coors Light, Behind the O app, and Jameson Whiskey.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne.
And Jacoby Bourne.
When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit bournebrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs. Taking out the trash.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. And if you're gearing up for the big game, don't forget the MVP of desserts, Sanders Chocolate Fudge Bumpy Cake. This legendary treat just made its way to Ohio. Finally! We're talking rich devil's food cake, buttery cream bumps, and a fudge icing that is just unfair. They'd throw a flag on it if it was actually on the field. Bring one to your next tailgate, watch party, or even a team celebration, and you'll be the real hero. Available now at Kroger and Meijer, Sanders Bumpy Cake. It's game day greatness.
Here's a stat that hurts. The average adult waits up to 2 years before getting help for joint or back pain. 2 years of sitting out. 2 years of missing the game. At Ortho Neuro, you don't have to wait. Our orthopedic and spine experts treat every joint issue, often without surgery, and we've got next day appointments ready. Don't sit on the sidelines another day. Schedule your consult now. at orthoneuro.com. OrthoNeuro, for every motion in life.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Jacob Reimer. Week 2 of the college football season is off and rolling. The Ohio State Buckeyes return to action as the #1 team in the country. They welcome in Grambling State today in the first ever meeting between the two programs. Kickoff will be at 3:30, and coverage can be found right here on the Fan. The noon window is active right now in Ames, Iowa. The Cyhawk game is underway. Iowa State has a 6-0 lead on Iowa after one quarter played. Number 11 Illinois is up on Duke 7-3 heading into the second quarter in Durham, and SMU leads Baylor 10-7 early in the second quarter in Dallas. Later today in the Big Ten, number 6 Oregon hosts Oklahoma State at 3:30, and a primetime Big Ten SEC clash between Michigan and Oklahoma tonight in Norman. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The only way to get ready for the game. 1, 2, 3. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show. Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
All right, back at it. Listen, we've seen some mismatches before in our time. We'll see if we get another one today. On paper, it certainly looks that way. Whether or not it plays out to a 50-plus game, we'll see. We anticipate it. I think they had a shutout on the table against Texas, and I think that winning the game is the most important. But, man, I was ready to mark it 0, dude. It was pretty close to that.
Jermaine Matthews had great coverage on that play, just that last little bend. And that
really did. But when they went up 2 scores, you felt like it was in good hands. We welcome our man Adam King from 10 TV, just kind of stumbling around here on campus. So he was looking for a little microphone to talk into, and we could provide that for him.
Well, I was just walking, waiting on the band to get into skull session here with the team, and so I always like to stop by the tent to just see my 3 favorite people and see Dave Biddle eat one random chicken nugget at his table. It's very strange.
People walk by and hand him stuff. It'd be rude not to eat it.
Well, I hadn't eaten anything all day. I'm going to take a free chicken nugget.
Dave, I would stop eating things people hand you. It's a concerning trait, and I would not tell the listeners that you do that.
Especially when they hand it to you like this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more presented than handed.
Yeah.
All right, let's ask the question. They beat Texas. It was the big one. We wouldn't ask this question last week. We can ask it now. Are they running the table in the regular season, Adam King?
I think so. There's really only one game that I think could catch them up, and I don't think it's Illinois, which a lot of people are circling. I think it's at Wisconsin. That's the game that I look at. But really, in reality, I think that Michigan, they're so motivated to win that game, obviously. We all know that. Penn State, I just don't see it with Penn State. Drew Aller has not sold me. And he may never sell me because every year I hear that he's so good, he's dominant, he's amazing. I've never seen it. I mean, I think Penn State's up 7 points right now on FIU. They're closing in on halftime. I mean,
they're struggling too. The only reason, I mean, they've had an interception, meaning that Penn State's defense is stepping up. They picked off FIU's quarterback. They also blocked a punt. Or this could be a tie game right now. Penn State does not look good today.
Let me tell you something about a guy named Julian Fleming. All right. Big fan. You remember him?
I remember him.
Yeah.
He was from Pennsylvania.
Yes, he went over to Penn State, and I felt so bad for him.
Me
because
too.
He was a great receiver, and he went to a place where they don't believe in throwing the football to receivers. If your name wasn't Tyler Warren, you weren't getting a catch. And it was not fair, and that told me all I need to know about Drew Aller.
It was not the paradise he thought it would be. Let's
I
put
don't know
it that
if he's
way.
a great receiver.
And number 2,
Yeah.
I think Drew Aller's a good quarterback against average competition, but the big games, man, just look up the stats.
So let's take a poll here. You said yes on the show yesterday. You have a yes today. Are you yes? Undefeated regular season.
No, I think they're going to lose one game.
What game?
But he can't name it.
I don't know which one. It's not going to be Michigan. They're going to beat Michigan. They'll slip up once, I think. I don't know when.
But see, that's a hunch.
I disagree. But
that's a hunch.
Wisconsin looks like a mess to me. Hopefully I'm wrong because I love Luke. Washington's the one I think nobody's talking about. Listen, I think Ohio State's going to be fine, but they have a good young quarterback.
Right.
I don't like Wisconsin's quarterback at all. And now they're trying to go back to what they did well. I don't know why Luke went in there and tried to make him like air raid, but whatever. Washington could be a little tricky. Illinois could be, as you mentioned, Penn State. I think they're going to beat Michigan, but I do think they're going to lose one regular season game.
I know, but here's the thing. What I kept saying to you on your show was, there's a possibility it happens, but right now, percentage-wise, it says Ohio State goes undefeated.
They'll be favored in every game.
And not only favored, but other than Penn State and maybe Michigan, heavily favored in every game.
That's true.
Listen, I think what Dave's pointing out is what most people feel, is that there will be a game that gets squirrely this year.
Yeah.
Maybe a game you're not anticipating. Yep. How they come through that is anybody's guess. But you're right. I could err on history, which tells me it's very difficult to run the table in the regular season, or I could err on what I know that team is made of, which is the ability to beat anybody they line up against, it feels like. But I understand where everyone's going with this, because you were a little more history. They're a little more like present day. We see what they can do.
I would argue with you, though, a loss wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, well, you know why? We had the poll on my show the other day. And the reason I feel like people were hesitant to say that they would is because if they do, that means they got to go like 15 or 16. Like they got to win them all then.
Yeah.
Like if you win the regular season and you put that on them, then that means there is no more get-out-of-jail-free card.
Exactly, and you almost would like to see, not that you want to see it, but if they lose at Washington, you go, okay, now there's your wake-up call. Now, look what happened last year. They got fired up after that.
Well, actually, there was a bye week after Oregon, and they almost lost to Nebraska.
They did.
It wasn't the wake-up call we really thought it was going to be.
Right. That was their third. That was their third toughest game.
That was fourth.
Third
that was
or fourth
fourth
toughest game.
That was fourth quarter stress right there.
Yeah. But I don't buy that you have to have that wake-up call, although I think it always helps in retrospect when you look back. I mean, you look at them at Oregon in the middle of October, and you look at them first of the year against Oregon, just two totally different games. Main thing that had changed was the defense more than the offense. And but I think this team is capable of running the table, but it's so much more of a challenge now than it was in 2002, that's for sure.
And now the beauty of it is you don't have to. It doesn't matter because they proved last year you don't have to. Here's Ross Bjork on the Front Office Sports Pod about where we could be going with this expanded playoff.
Selfishly, Ohio State could stay at 4. We could go back to 4. In most years, probably be okay. At 12, we should be okay. We gotta keep doing our part, right? I mean, we got to keep investing and keep coaching and keep recruiting at a high level. But I'm a believer that for the good of the game, for the health of the game, for content, for high-level matchups, we should expand. Could we go to 16? Could we go to 20? Could we go to 24? There's proposals out there to go to 28. There's been a couple other proposals to go to 32.
Well, it's like how far do you take it? You expand, and then 2 years later, everyone wants to expand again.
So no matter what the model is, we all get hung up in these numbers. 24, 28. Oh, my God, they can't do this. But here's what you cannot argue with. Nobody can argue with this. What's wrong with more high-level football? What's wrong with more meaningful postseason content? What's wrong with keeping the postseason alive for as many teams as possible?
I'll argue with it, and I'll argue with it this way, that you'll just keep diluting the regular season to the point where we've already diluted it somewhat. But if you're going to just take the top 25 and play 12 games and say, now do it again when it counts in a one and done, like 12, okay, we saw it. It's fun. It worked. I love brackets. It didn't really degrade other games completely. We've lost a little bit of the winning you're in, losing you're out. But if you start saying, hey, you can lose three times and get in this thing no matter what, scheduling's going to become different. And so when he said no one can argue this, I feel like you can.
I am with you 100%. Here's the thing. It just feels too much like we're moving towards college basketball. And you can say, well, look at March Madness. It's great. Okay, but I don't even care about regular season college.
Yeah, but a 16 can beat a 1 in that.
It is a little bit of a stretch. But, like, if let's say you're North Carolina, you lose a regular season game to Duke in basketball, it doesn't really even mean anything. You're going to play them again. You might play them a third time in the ACC championship. We might play them in the NCAA tournament as well. So I don't want to see us move too much toward college basketball.
I think it's moving more toward high school football.
You're right. I like that the regular season in college football means more than any other regular season in American sports.
That's a lot of games. Right. A lot of games. For the two that play for the championship, that's a lot of football.
And I feel like in college football, we have found a really good balance of actually naming the best team the champion. I don't know that that's always true in college basketball.
Agreed.
With all the upsets. And so I get it. More money, more games, more fun. No, not when you're Ohio State. because that's one more game that maybe something goes haywire. Maybe you lose your starting quarterback, and all of a sudden a great season is on the line against NC State when you're a 1 seed and they're a 20 seed.
There might be more buys. Who knows if it got to that point.
12 is fine. Quit fixing things that aren't broken.
Right,
It's like Tim May working on his porch, all right? You've done it. Leave it alone.
Bingo.
Working on his porch?
Built it from scratch. I know which. I know which nails are loose. Bottom line is 16. How about move to 16 and let that go for like 4 years and see how it goes?
I think that's what's going to happen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what he should do.
How about move to 12 and stay there for the rest of your life?
I think what he meant was take the word content out and just replace it with money.
Well, I think
who would argue with making more money?
If you're an Ohio State fan, you should be looking forward to when the playoff expands because that means Ohio State's going to win the national championship, right? When they went from 2 to 4, who won the first year? Buckeyes. Then go 4 to 12. Buckeyes wins. When they go to 14 or 16, the Buckeyes
My
win.
least favorite word that I heard athletic director use many years ago was inventory, because it gives inventory to the networks to pick things off shelves and make money off of it.
I'm going to go listen to Skull Session now. Biddle, you finish that chicken nugget, all right?
I will, man. You want it?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
The good news is that was a fun segment. The bad news is you look so relaxed, and now you got to leave.
Yeah, man.
I know. Like I
All of a
say,
sudden, it's like he's a fireman. He got the fire call.
Adam King, 10 TV. Thanks for the visit, my man. Kickoff forecast: 70 degrees at kickoff. We'll get to about high 60s here at the end of the game, but it should be beautiful. Winds about 10 to 12 miles an hour. We will come back with the handicapper to the stars, Scotty Vegas. He'll tell you where the smart money is. This is the Curtis & Associates Fan Tailgate Show. Remember, they don't get paid unless you get paid, right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
There are no accidents to report, just heavy traffic in spots. 315 northbound from 670 to Ackerman Road. Stop and go in spots. Of course, those off-ramps to specifically Ackerman and Lane Avenue are pretty busy. Olentangy River Road is slow between King and Lane. Lane Avenue is very slow between Kenny and High Street. And High Street's pretty busy from 11th to Lane Avenue. Remember, near the stadium, Woody Hayes Drive is closed between Cannon and Tuttle Park. With Game Day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on the Fan.
Tailgates are better when your ride's rocking. Columbus Car Audio and Accessories upgrades your sound, tints your ride, and adds the extras to make your ride the ultimate game day machine. Come visit the all-new Capital Ford of Columbus today, home of the 99-cent down car deal. Visit capitalfordofcolumbus.com or call 614-861-7150. That's capitalfordofcolumbus.com or 614-861-7150. 99 cents, $399, $0 down, RCL on 25 My Escape. 10,500 miles per year available for well-qualified buyers. Excludes tax, title, licensing, and documentary service charges. Offer good while dealer supply lasts.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV. No Ohio State fans simply can't get enough coverage of the reigning national champions.
So, now there's even more of it on YouTube, thanks to the Austin and Berm Show.
Get daily coverage with me, Austin Ward, and my buddy Jeremy Birmingham on The Beat, Snap Judgments, and the weekly live show at Roosters presented by Tansky Power Sports.
Just search on YouTube or anywhere you download podcasts for the Austin and Berm Show.
It's Ohio State football all day, every day.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime at Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York. Score big with Columbus Car Audio and Accessories. Sound, style, and upgrades for every ride. Visit us today and kick off this season the right way. Columbus Car Audio and Accessories. Drive it, show it, rock it.
Other stations have crappy ratings and they wonder why no one listens. So instead of investing money in local talent, they fire people and plug in AI voices. Gee, real entertainment. Well, all of our dummies are real, damn it. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination.
Your home, your comfort, your family, that's everything. Big companies shout, big ads scream, but trust is quiet. It's a tech who fixes instead of sells. A family business here since '66. Northland Heating and Cooling, your local Lennox Premier dealer. Honest comfort, real people, real peace of mind. Northland Heating and Cooling.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you're a sports card fan like me, you've got to check out Midwest Cards in the Arena District, right outside Nationwide Arena. These guys are true collectors themselves, and they've built a shop that lets you experience card collecting in a whole new way. They've got sealed boxes, packs, single cards, signed memorabilia, and plenty of TVs in their lounge. Yeah, they have a lounge. And don't forget the card bar, where you can open packs while you have an adult beverage. It's awesome. Stop by Midwest Cards today and tell them T-Bone sent you.
Hey, Buckeye fans, it's Jeff Hogan, and I've got to say thank you. The way Central Ohio has welcomed me back has been amazing. I'm so excited to be back with the team here at 10 TV. These folks are the real deal, and together, we're here to bring you more of the stories that really matter to you and your family. Whether it's breaking news, weather that impacts your day, or just honest conversations, we're here for it all. I'll see you weeknights on 10 TV and 10 TV Plus. And again, it's really good to be back.
Your 10 TV team is stronger than ever. Jeff Hogan, Yolanda Harris, Station Knockin', Jerry Martz. 4 trusted names with a deep connection to Central Ohio. Together, they bring you more heart, more credibility, and more of the stories that matter to you. From breaking news to weather that impacts your day, to real conversations shaping your community. This is your news, your team. Watch weeknights on 10 TV and streaming anytime on 10 TV Plus.
Score big this season with an MVP package from Lennox and Northland Heating and Cooling. Call today for your free estimate and special savings on Lennox products, or visit hvacnorthland.com. That's Northland Heating and Cooling, your local Lennox premier dealer.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Here for the Buckeyes game this afternoon, we're tracking dry conditions, a bit of a breeze out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and highs around 71 with some sunshine here for this afternoon. And then for tonight, mostly clear and cool with lows down to 49 degrees. And then more sunshine here for tomorrow with highs around 71 here on your Sunday. I'm meteorologist Aaron White here with your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan. The sausages are sizzling. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show. Proud to be the flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
All right, back on campus, Anthony Rothman, Dave Biddle, Tim May, and last week certainly was a powerhouse schedule. But as my man Scotty Vegas can attest, there's never a bad week to bet on a game.
That's exactly right.
So we've got some beauties here, and we've got some intriguing ones. There's one going on right now, Duke and Illinois. We got Michigan, Oklahoma later, and certainly we have some massive spreads. So, Scotty, welcome. The spread on this game didn't come out till the other day at 55.5.
Yeah.
Everyone was guessing.
It's funny, Anthony, because the guys from Hollywood Casino called me up and were like, hey, they finally gave us a line for the game to post. And so for me, I wanted to guess at what they would post that line at. And so for me, I was guessing 52 was my guess, and it ended up coming at 55.5. But I think the story for me, guys, is like, all right, so 55.5. What are we looking at as far as these spreads? Like, do teams cover spreads when numbers are that high?
So what'd you find out?
And the last time we had a spread that was above 55 was LSU played Grambling, and this was in 2023, and LSU ended up winning that game 72-10 and covering the 55.5 spread that day.
Look at them embarrassing their in-state, right? In-state rival in Grambling. Look at LSU doing that. That's the thing about today. Ohio State could win this game by 80 if they wanted to. Do we think Ryan Day wins any part of embarrassing at HBCU? If this was Maryland or something, I know he doesn't like Mike Locksley at all. Maybe he'd run it up if he could. But
when did they beat?
Yeah, I'd probably take the under if I had to.
76-0.
Yeah,
when was that?
Yeah,
was that?
But that
2013?
Was Urban. Yeah,
that was 2013.
That's everybody pick on Mike.
But that was Urban.
Yeah,
Urban didn't care about running it up on him.
But I did find a fun prop bet out there, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it. Because to me, I'm about 50-50 on this one. So there is a prop bet out there. Will Grambling State score a point today? Okay, I will tell you those odds, but I want to get your guys' opinion. Does Grambling score today?
Well, my first opinion, because I like to do that, I always tell it is very difficult to get a shutout in modern college football no matter what, because something goofy can happen. they kick a field goal and you're $100 down the drain. So that's my answer. Go ahead, Anthony.
I picked 63-3. Sorry, Anthony. We keep cutting you off.
No, I don't need.
To answer your question, I predicted Grambling would score 3 points.
Okay, so you say Ohio State covers, and it goes over, but Grambling does get on the board.
And the more I think about it, I might switch my pick. But yeah, my official pick was Ohio State barely covered. I didn't even know it at the time they were covering. But yeah, I had Grambling scoring 3 points.
It's the great conundrum where you're more likely to pick Ohio State shutting somebody out when you know their starters are going to play the whole game. That's the conundrum because we know they're going to get up. The backups are going to get in. I have no idea whether Grambling has a kicker that can make a kick. Maybe they do, so I'd have to do some research there. But I'll go with my gut that says, no, they don't score. They almost shut out Texas last week. And I would lean into, yes, could an opening drive get weird and they could get 3 and your bet goes down the toilet, of course. But I predicted 56-0. I'm staying with it.
One play can get out the gate, and it ruins everything.
Is that before the point spread was out?
Yeah.
And I am right with you, Anthony. I don't think they score. I really don't. And
by conventional methods.
The actual odds on it are that there will be a shutout is plus 110. So It is a little unlikely based on the percentages. It's about a 45% chance that Ohio State shuts them out.
I want to throw another one at you real quick. I saw that Ohio State, we were talking about running the table and all that, and I haven't even seen any odds on an undefeated regular season. But you can get Ohio State right now over 10.5 wins, which is basically just give them one loss, and you can get 62% on your money.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's still there because it was 10.5 entering the season. I figured if they beat Texas, it would at least tick up to 11, if not 11.5.
Just the fraction changed, like the odds changed, but it's
right.
You're still getting 62%.
I know. I love that value, right? I mean, obviously you still have Penn State and Michigan. Those are the two that you're most worried about. You have a couple freaky games in there like Illinois on the road and Washington on the road. But it does feel like the over 10.5 is the play. It's funny, though, guys. Looking at last week, we talked about that the under was the play last week. And it was kind of the under was the play across college football last week because unders actually went 80-46 last week.
Wow.
So if you were just blindly betting totals last week and you just took under 2-1, games were going under the total.
If they were going to lose 2 games this year, we figured that had to be one of them last week.
Yes.
But now
Although,
here we are.
I mean,
Penn State, Michigan.
They'll be probably, I would guess, maybe a 4 to 6 point favorite over Penn State, and right now you're probably about a 7 to 10 point favorite over Michigan. So you are favored in both of those games.
We're going to learn a lot about Michigan tonight, boys.
Yes.
We're going to learn a lot about and we're going to learn a lot about Oklahoma, too. I think Oklahoma's a little bit underrated this year. They were bad last year. They brought in a good quarterback. They brought in a good offensive coordinator. I'm still not sold on Venables as a head coach, but I think Oklahoma is going to get it done tonight against Michigan.
What is the action on that game? What's it looking?
So I'm glad you asked that because I've got the 5 most bet on sides for the week here. The most bet on side, and this is across the country. This isn't locally here. This is Illinois was the most bet on side this week against Duke. Illinois minus 2.5.
The public?
Iowa State, public also on Iowa State minus 3.5 against Iowa. Number 3 was Ole Miss against Kentucky. Number 4, though, 4th most bet side today is Michigan plus 5.5 against Oklahoma. And number 5 most bet on side is Texas. But the amazing thing, this is what you're going to love, guys. Last week, the 5 most bet on sides. Take a note when I read these. Texas was the most bet on side. 2nd most bet on side was Alabama. 3rd was Notre Dame. 4th was Clemson. 5th was Indiana. All 5, 0 for 5. None covered the spread.
Is Kalen DeBoer, according to the odds, is Kalen DeBoer in deep trouble?
Well, there's already odds out on who the next Alabama coach is going to be.
It's a $70 million buyout, and then you got to pay the next guy.
I know.
And they're belly aching about not being able to make enough money.
Ross Bjork just walked by. He had to pay out a $75. Now, it wasn't his fault. He had to pay out a $75 million buyout for Jimbo. So I wouldn't put it past him. It's Alabama.
So the Kalen DeBoer, it's funny because you're talking about the buyouts, but I love the fact that they already put out these odds on next Alabama coach. Tommy Rees is the favorite at 3-1, by the way. But the funny thing is, Lane Kiffin is 5-1 to be the next Alabama.
I could see that.
I could see that
Deion
totally.
Sanders 8-1.
Ooh,
I could not see that.
I could not see that.
Let me ask.
I didn't see him going to Colorado either.
All right, before we cut you loose,
Tommy Reese.
how did last week's win affect the Ohio State odds on winning at all?
You know what's crazy? And this is so different now that we have the 12-team playoff. Because in the past, you get a win over Texas, and you're going to see those national championship odds change drastically.
Yeah.
However, it did not change much at all. In fact, Ohio State still has the same odds. They're right around 6-1 to win it all, and Texas didn't fall all that far.
You know why?
Because everybody
one play either way could have changed that game.
And the expanded
Anybody
playoff.
watching it knows that.
And
the expanded playoff is the biggest reason, I think.
Exactly, Dave. And Texas is still going to be a playoff team.
And the other thing we talked about in the last segment, which is, and Ohio State proved this last year, sometimes the loss is better than being Oregon and being undefeated going into a playoff.
Yes.
Because it's hard to go 16-0.
Okay,
or whatever.
Let me ask you guys this before you cut me loose here. If you had to pick one team right now to win it all, after week one, we saw a lot of action last week. Maybe we've now eliminated Alabama. Maybe your opinion on Texas has changed a little bit. But if you had to pick one team right now to bet on to win it all,
you mean to make a little bit of money? I'm telling you, I like the way Florida State revamped itself.
To win it all, though?
Dude, they're a different team than they were this time a year ago.
Yeah.
They dominated on the offensive line and the defensive line, and they got a good quarterback.
I would take Ohio State. It'd be very close. You can make an argument for a lot of different teams.
Make a lot of money.
Yeah, you're talking about value. You're factoring in value. I think if everybody had the exact same value, I would pick Ohio State.
Yeah.
But man, it's going to be close.
I think you got to love Ohio State's schedule. They're going to get Penn State at home. You have to at least feel that they'll right the wrong against Michigan this year. They'll go in as a top seed. Now, they would have to play a Big Ten title game this year, which they didn't last year. But, yeah, I mean, LSU is a team that I liked against Clemson. Their defense is really good. But I just would err on the side of we've seen this now. The only problem is young quarterback in Ohio State. He's going to grow all year, and Nussmeier is looked at as a Heisman guy. But, man, it's right there between Ohio State and LSU for me.
Yeah.
But that's too recency bias, but you asked me today.
And for me, it's still Ohio State and Texas. I still think Texas will improve enough.
I think they play again.
I
think they definitely play. I've been saying that all along. I think they play again.
Yeah.
All right, my man, great stuff. Now we know where the smart money is. Scotty Vegas, Handicapper to the Stars. We come back with the keys to the game and a special visit as well. Rothman and Ice was on the Fan yesterday. This is the Tailgate Show on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
You'll see traffic continue to build as you approach Ohio Stadium. 315 northbound from 670 to Lane Avenue is pretty slow in spots. On the southbound side of 315, it is getting crowded between Ackerman Road and Lane Avenue. Those Lane Avenue off-ramps from 315 are also very busy right now. Lane Avenue is pretty packed between High Street and 315. Kenny Road is crowded between Lane Avenue and Kinnear. Olentangy River Road also between Lane and Kinnear, a very busy spot right now. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on the Fan.
Hi, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Coming up, more football talk on the Fan.
That's right, Bob. And just like our hometown team, Worthington Jewelers is all about tradition, family, and winning moments.
Celebrate your victories with us, your hometown jeweler, Worthington Jewelers.
Taking out the trash. Hey, Columbus, this is Zach Bourne.
And Jacoby Bourne.
When it comes to waste service, you want a team that knows how to deliver under pressure, just like Saturdays in the fall.
At Bourne Brothers Waste Services, our team is built on toughness, teamwork, and consistent execution.
We're the most reliable and customer service-focused waste company in Central Ohio.
Whether it is recycling, trash, construction waste, roll-off containers, front loads, or compactors, we have it handled.
Call now or visit BourneBrothers.com and let us tackle your waste needs.
Taking out the trash.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on any new 25 Camry or lease a Camry LE from just $279 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
We're back to football talk, but before we kick off, a quick thanks to Bob and the team at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Whether it's game day or every day, we're here to help you celebrate life's biggest moments.
Worthington Jewelers, your hometown jeweler.
What he said.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Still on a high from the win last week? Come to campus on game day and enjoy live music, food, and fun at the 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV tailgate at the O Patio and Pub on Lane. The party starts at 9 and continues on throughout the game. See why over 10,000 people came to party with us last week. Be at the O on Lane this Saturday. Proudly sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Coors Light, Behind the O app, and Jameson Whiskey.
When it comes to protecting your business, whether it's your staff, property, or assets, don't make a crucial mistake by contracting companies that provide subpar and unprofessional service. What you need is a security partner known for their unwavering professionalism and unnatural liability. You need Event Risk. Event Risk is a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company that not only specializes in on-site guarding, but also offers armed security associates and executive protection agents. Event Risk, elite protection for your peace of mind.
Hello, my name is Eric Rose, CEO and founder of Event Risk Security Services. We are a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company providing protection services and consulting to Fortune 500 corporations, movie studios, celebrities, and high-net-worth individuals. If you're tired of fluff margins with low compensation for poor-quality security officers and the endless revolving door of vendor staffing, then give us a try. For virtually the same cost, we can then address what keeps you up at night.
Visit eventriskinc.com.
This is the Fans Game Day Scoreboard.
This game day update is sponsored by Mutual Federal, proudly serving Columbus with personal and business solutions at mutualfederal.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Jacob Reimer. Week 2 of the college football season is off and rolling. The Ohio State Buckeyes return to action as the #1 team in the country. They welcome in Grambling State today in the first ever meeting between the two programs. Kickoff will be at 3:30 and coverage can be found right here on The Fan. Some live scores out in college football right now. In Ames, Iowa, the Cyhawk game is underway. Iowa State with a 10-point lead over Iowa, 13-3 nearing the end of the second quarter. And Durham, Illinois is up on Duke 14-6 with just a few minutes left in the half. And SMU leads Baylor 24-14 with 2 minutes until halftime in Dallas. Later today in the Big Ten, number 6 Oregon hosts Oklahoma State at 3:30, and a primetime Big Ten SEC clash between Michigan and Oklahoma tonight in Norman. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan.
You're listening to the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show, getting you ready for the Buckeye game. Your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan. It's time for the keys to the game.
Sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, keys to the game sponsored by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. My man played every game when he was a freshman, got in every game, ended his career with about 191 tackles, which means if we line up 9 people to volunteer, I can get him to 200 today. He's the legend. He's a national champ. He's a former first-round draft pick. He's my man, Bobby Carpenter. Good to see you, brother.
You know, the bad thing is, Rothman, I probably missed at least 9, so there was a little meat on that bone. The better thing is, someone I was asking on doing my XM show this morning, and they go, do you think Bill Belichick's legacy will be tarnished if it goes really bad at UNC? I go, it's interesting because, you look at like Bill Walsh, and there's some guys that maybe didn't have as greatest success doing other things at other places. I go, but man, I've gotten better every year I got done playing. I go, people are like, we just had you out. You with this. I'm like, dude, I missed tackles too. Like, AJ, we missed tackles. We blew coverages. Things happen. But when you get older, Rothman, nobody remembers those things. It's only the good stuff.
That's good, buddy.
Amen on that.
Arvell Reese is not older. He just looks like a beast out there. He was a guy that would have been ready to play, as you know, last year, Bobby, and now as a junior just looks like a beast out there. What do you see from Arvell?
You know what's interesting? You say that, Bids, and he played some. Yeah. But he came in from Glenville, and he wasn't the highest recruited guy because nationally people are like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? I'm like, well, there's a development process that needs to happen. And it was like Joshua Perry when he came in here. And I used to talk with Joshua, and he's like, I probably played a year too early, just because they didn't have anybody else.
Right.
But, that maturation process that happens, and then you see, your middle of your second into your third year, you really kind of understand everything. And especially for a guy that played D-line as a freshman. Like James, I go, dude, you had to be, he's got bruised face, ribs, eyes. He had to battle for Sonny to get him over there, and then had to fight the D-line to get Arvell. And those guys are probably the best pair of linebackers you're going to find.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I wanted to ask you this. I thought of an ingenious thing for television. Televising an Ohio State game is show Caleb Downs in the midst of the defense and have a little bubble up above him that shows what he's thinking, what he's seeing, what he's recognizing.
We tried that with Rothman, but then they kicked it off the air.
Yeah,
too much.
The FCC came in.
Yeah, it all came out in a foreign language. But wouldn't it be cool to...
foreign film, really.
Foreign film, yes. Still, I didn't mean to...
Rochelle.
I didn't mean to put you down there. Exactly.
A young man's erotic journey from Milan to Minsk.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think about that idea? I would be curious, wouldn't it?
It's awesome sitting there and getting a chance to get to know him over the last couple of years. And I know he loves talking with Maddie, Patricia, and Tim and Matt Guerreri. But how he looks at the game, and he's a pro. And what is awesome is that rubs off on everybody else. Like him and Lathan, obviously Lathan's a veteran guy. But then you take the young guys, Jalen and Malik, and now they're in there how to watch film, how to look at things. And, well, why did you do that? There was a play in practice. And I'll get the calls, and it's great because this is the defense I grew up in. And I go, that didn't look like that call. And I go over at Abner, I was like, what the heck did he do? And he's like, well, he comes over, he goes, I just blitzed. They're in a competitive situation.
Yeah.
He goes, well, I was on the backside. I knew they weren't going to run. As soon as I saw the tight ends come in, I stay in. I knew I didn't have anything. So he's like, I just kept on rolling. It would have been like an uncontested sack. And I was like, and the coach was like, okay, you calculated the risk of everything there, what your coverages would have been. They stayed in. You really weren't supposed to go, but he understands so much about it, and that really makes it special.
But Texas could have run anything on second and goal at the one last year in the semifinal. You could see him sniff it out, get other guys involved, and then boom, he goes in untouched because he's not supposed to be where he was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. And last week, the mind games he was playing with Arch Manning were obvious.
Well, and the other great thing about him is he gets to places where you don't really expect him to be.
Right.
But then also the other key thing is that he is one of the best tacklers I've ever seen in my career. It's like Antoine Winfield-esque. Because Antoine, I got a coach tell me, Bruce DeHaven, who coached me in Dallas, special teams coach, he passed away from cancer a couple years ago, but he coached all those Buffalo teams. He's been in the NFL for 15 years or 30 years, and we're watching the Minnesota Vikings in preseason. And he was the safety on kickoff. He comes down, they go through there, makes the tackle, and he goes, you know who that is? I was like, of course I do. He goes, best tackler I've ever seen.
A pound for pound, I've said that a million times, of all the guys I've covered at Ohio State,
100%.
The best tackler I've ever seen.
This guy, we'll see. He's got a year to go.
Yeah.
But he's giving him a run for his money.
Well, you and I have talked a lot about maybe the lost art of tackling. It's a kind of a did he blow him up kind of a era now. And
we call it the dolphin tackle, Rothman.
That's right.
If the dolphin
armless tackle,
just throw your head in there. That's why dolphins don't play football because they can't wrap their arms.
Those are the ones that get an assist of a tackle, but not really the ones that get them to the ground usually. Give me your best take on a lot of coverage sacks last week. I felt like Arch had some time, but that secondary had everybody locked up.
So this is what's the beauty of Matt Patricia. Everybody's like pressure. So there was one series he heated him up a lot, and then kind of like showed a lot of pressure and a lot of different looks, and then bailed out into a variety of coverages. And then all of a sudden you look at the last play of the game, you're rushing 3 dudes, and you're only blocking 2 of them.
CJ was unblocked.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah. You have a 3-man rush, and you turn I guarantee you the offensive coordinator in that is like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like Arch, people want to say Arch, I'm like, dude, you see a 3-man rush, you're thinking I've got a good 3 seconds here. There's no way they should be breaking it down like that. And they all slide, and that's what when you have Arvell and Sonny and those guys walking up, and they're running these pick games and all these advanced stuff that I knew Matty was going to bring to the table, and I was so excited to see these guys because they have the physical ability to utilize it, and that's it. It's called simulated pressure. It feels like pressure, Rothman.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like the very first time, but it's actually
I
not.
had a buddy of mine text me going, why isn't he rushing more than 4? And I go, well, they're running zone blitz. I mean, you've got to love the beauty of it. And like you said, the biggest play of the game, which is always the last play you make defensively, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Because he had him so bamboozled. Yeah, there was a couple times in that little segment where you may have rushed him just to get Arch off the schneid. But the bottom line, I thought it was a near perfect defensive game plan in terms of messing with a first-time, full-time starting quarterback.
And what everybody's wanted to see is like some 5-down looks.
Yeah.
And like when you have Arvell and Sonny, the beauty is those guys are 6'3", 6'4", 245 pounds. I told James, no more short linebackers. Like, I want dudes that are tall, that are long, that you can walk up off the edge, that can get in the rush game, that can get in the pass game, that can do all of that. And it's tough to find those guys. But that's what confuses them. And, like, everybody wanted more blitzing, but you're up 14-0 with 57 minutes. Like, don't be foolish. That was the argument with Jim Knowles. Like, why are we playing man-to-man when we're up by 10? Like, we can kind of chill out a little bit. Like, make them work the ball down the field some.
Man, that one call against Georgia in the fourth quarter just still leaves me.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Jermaine Matthews had really good coverage on that one touchdown until the last second. You know what I mean? And the guy curled in on him and stuff.
They have the 4 corners we have on the outside. And Aaron Scott didn't even really play.
Right.
Really good. And one of the guys that was kind of unsung, because it was interesting. Like, he didn't play last year, and he came from Notre Dame. But Sonny's brother Lorenzo, that inside position, inside nickel, that plays some safety.
Yeah.
Like, you're asked to do a lot. And Jordan Hancock was probably the most underappreciated player last year doing that. And Lorenzo did a great job. Because if not, they've got some other guys that they're working in. They could do some things, and Lorenzo did an awesome job. Great in tackling, did a great job in coverage. And very, very impressed with what he
did. And that was huge because, like you said, Bob, I mean, like, Lathan was awesome last year to have Jalen McClain do what he did. And then Jordan Hancock was awesome, like you said, and have Lorenzo Jr. come in as a fifth-year senior. That's really cool.
Hey, were you impressed with the way they handled Sayin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
once you're up.
There were 4 drops, like, of guys who were really good players. And I heard you say it earlier, but it's like, Brandon Ennis, it's a tough catch. Brandon Ennis is. I say he should catch that because of how good he is.
Right.
You know, that was a perfectly thrown ball, and that's a catch he probably makes 9 out of 10 times. The same thing with JJ, dropping some screens. Max Clare comes here, supposed to be the guy, like, first one, like, dude, he's putting it on you. So it could have been a much better day for him. But, you know, we look around college football. When you're breaking in a starting young quarterback, and only 3 of the top 10 teams had returning starting quarterbacks. And you look at, like, what the difference is between Nussmeier at LSU and between Ty Simpson at Alabama. Like, it's hard your first time to go out there in the big city lights. This isn't like, hey, we're going to feel our way out for 3 weeks. Day one, here we go. Like, you're jumping in that car that you were riding down in Louisville, Rothman, and like, dude, you're going 100 miles an hour. Like, sitting there, like,
he's going to break into a Bob Seger song here in a minute.
I mean, listen, it's at F-18. I'm up there. He's like, all right, you ready to go? 3, 2, 1, whoop. I'm like, okay, like, this is real. There's no wading into the pool. Sometimes you're just going in head first.
They didn't show you where the ejection seat was or anything like that.
Oh no, they did.
Oh,
absolutely.
They did.
Yeah, that's a real deal. They go. Sometimes you get the double flight.
Dang right
you get the flight, and then you get that. I said, hey, I'm here for all that.
Like, you remember what my stepdad said? the crash happens, I want to be as far away from it as possible.
Absolutely. So you want to be away from that thing.
You know who else said that? Chuck Yeager said that.
I asked him, who pays for the plane if we crash? He's like, the taxpayers.
Yeah.
We don't own that plane. The taxpayers do.
You're right.
Great
Get
change,
your
buddy.
body can't cash.
All right, we're going to let our man fly. That is the one and only Bobby Carpenter. We come back. We'll do a final check-in with the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels. This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan Tailgate Show. Visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
It's a busy time on the roadways around Ohio Stadium right now. 315 north and southbound, seeing a lot of action around the Lane Avenue and Ackerman Road exits particularly. Lane Avenue is bumper to bumper from Kenny to High Street. Olentangy River Road has a crowd between King and Lane. High Street is busy from 11th to Lane. And when you're near the stadium, remember Woody Hayes Drive is closed between Cannon and Tuttle Park. With Game Day traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on the Fan.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward. The live show is back at Roosters, and now it's kicking into overdrive thanks to Tansky Power Sports. Check out the latest Ohio State breakdowns with me, Berm, and a couple former Buckeyes every Monday on the 97.1 The Fan YouTube channel and 10TV Plus.
It's the Closet Systems Kickoff Sale at Design Solutions by Cooper. They design and manufacture customizable storage built to fit your lifestyle and space. From closets to any space in your home, our systems are made to maximize organization. Simplify the morning rush. Stay organized during back-to-school season and add value to your home with expert craftsmanship. Schedule a virtual design consultation or find a dealer near you at DesignSolutionsByCooper.com. Hurry, this is a limited time offer and your dream closet is just a few clicks away at DesignSolutionsByCooper.com. Come visit the all-new Capital Ford of Columbus today, home of the 99-cent down car deal. Visit CapitalFordOfColumbus.com or call 614-861-7150. That's CapitalFordOfColumbus.com or 614-861-7150. 99 cents, $399, $0 down, RCL on 25 My Escape. 10,500 miles per year available for well-qualified buyers. Excludes tax, title, licensing, and documentary service charges. Offer good while dealer supply lasts.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime and Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Hey friends, it's Austin Ward. The live show is back at Roosters, and now it's kicking into overdrive thanks to Tansky Power Sports. Check out the latest Ohio State breakdowns with me, Berm, and a couple former Buckeyes every Monday on the 97.1 The Fan YouTube channel and 10TV Plus.
Morning Juice, real football talk. Just two guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said. And that's how she rolls.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
Dormar, you're kind of cute. Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in its tidy whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair. Dormar, you're kind of cute. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. My toilet's clogged, backed up too. The sink is running slow. Water's backed up everywhere. Oh, please don't overflow.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hey, Buckeye fans, it's Jeff Hogan, and I've got to say thank you. The way Central Ohio has welcomed me back has been amazing. I'm so excited to be back with the team here at 10 TV. These folks are the real deal, and together, we're here to bring you more of the stories that really matter to you and your family. Whether it's breaking news, weather that impacts your day, or just honest conversations, we're here for it all. I'll see you weeknights on 10 TV and 10 TV Plus. And again, it's really good to be back.
Your 10 TV team is stronger than ever. Jeff Hogan, Yolanda Harris, Station Knockin', Cherry Martz. 4 trusted names with a deep connection to Central Ohio. Together, they bring you more heart, more credibility, and more of the stories that matter to you. From breaking news to weather that impacts your day, to real conversations shaping your community. This is your news, your team. Watch weeknights on 10 TV and streaming anytime on 10 TV Plus.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in its tidy whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Enjoy all the football this weekend, but remember to join us for Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. The only way to get ready for the game.
1, 2, 3.
This is the Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Tailgate Show. Your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
All right, inching closer to kickoff. Paul Keels, the final check-in, is sponsored by Byers Imports. Byers Imports, Hamilton Road, by the airport. All right, Paul, what's coming up?
Well, Anthony, as always, we'll hear from both head coaches, Ryan Day from Ohio State, Mickey Joseph from Grambling State, defensive coordinator Mac Patricia. We'll talk about what they did well on the defensive side at the end of last week's game against Texas. We'll hear from Jake Butt, former Michigan tight end, who's doing the game on the Big Ten Network today, and a Pickerington native, talking about his impressions of Ohio State in Week 1. Tyler Danberg will talk with running back C.J. Donaldson about his Buckeye debut. We will hear from Dr. Nicole Roebuck, who is the director of music and band director of the world-famous Grambling State Tiger Marching Band, who there have been a million questions about. Are they going to be here and when are they going to perform? And yes, they are. And as always, we will have our award-winning, world-famous alumni band, Ring My Bell, Columbus Oktoberfest, High Karate, Delta Tau Chi Pledge Pin version of Buckeye Flashback with Hall of Famer Skip Mossick. That is coming up shortly.
Well, hopefully Skip will tuck up those pajamas today, Paul.
Tuck up those pajamas.
Good call. We'll be looking forward to it. All right, guys. Here we are, inching closer. Guys. Jeremiah Smith, the big game. Grambling State's in town.
It all comes down to this, boys.
All right, so Jeremiah Smith, we talked about earlier, he's going to return punt. So I heard Tim ask the question, who would argue with that? No, I agree with you. Now, the devil's advocate of it is that's another play you're exposing him, correct? Now, I would be interested to know if they, in practice, how much that he is getting tested back there with stuff that, not the routine fly ball. I'm talking about fielding the short hop and having, hey, let's send guys sooner than before. Let's see if he'll call a fair catch. I'm just wondering how much they've worked on it with him.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but I did, rewatching the game last week, it seemed to me like they basically told JJ, call a fair catch unless they kick a line drive right at you, that's where it mitigates any of the. It's football, like Jim Lache was saying.
Wait, let me interrupt you real quick.
You can get hurt on any play.
Let me interrupt. There's no way they put Jeremiah Smith, JJ, back there to return a punt, and he hadn't done it all preseason. I mean, in some form or fashion.
Right.
In a we watched him catch punts.
Not live.
The first couple of but we watched him catch punts. They didn't say, hey, it's a good idea. Let's throw Jeremiah Smith in there to catch a punt. That's the way it was. Number two, he has great football instincts, which is what you're looking for. He clearly has great vision. I'm not talking about just watching the punt, but being able to see things in front of him and around him. I mean, it makes as much sense of having him go back to catch a punt as it does to, like I said, run over the middle and catch a deep dig.
And you can't call a fair catch when you're running over the middle, can you?
No.
You can't call
you should be able to.
They're going to bust your head.
I think they're headed to that one of these days.
I should have mentioned it.
Yeah, fair catch.
The same conversation when they were toying with Caleb Downs on offense last year.
Correct.
And you know what happens? You play results with this kind of stuff, and if he fumbled or he got tweaked, you'd be like, well, you got Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. What do you need him back there for? So you do play results with this stuff. So I think it's a good gamble. I think it's worth the gamble. It's worth the risk.
Speaking of Caleb, last time I checked, he returned a punt for a touchdown last year, something they hadn't done in a while here at Ohio State. I would like to see Caleb Downs back there in big games, once or twice in a big game. Indiana was a big game last year, as Anthony would tell us. It was. And
I think Caleb was deep for a punt last week. They had Brandon Ennis back there once. They played 3 or 4 guys there.
Caleb had a return for a touchdown as a freshman at Alabama on a punt and one last year. And he hasn't returned that many.
Yeah.
Get him out there. I like it.
Well, I like his idea. When I asked him about that Indiana game, I said, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you had that ball in your hands? He said, score. Not, hey, blah, blah, blah. It was like, score.
And he did.
That's why you put those guys back there. They want to win the game in the worst way.
Especially a game where you're playing Texas. It's a 1-touchdown game. It's a 1-score game.
Who's got the best hands on the field?
Well, Carnell Tate did last week.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
Yeah.
in a general sense.
Especially on that second catch.
Well, you remember that trivia question somebody asked me during the preseason, because you get asked everything. You know, you have Caleb Downs and Jeremiah Smith. Who would you rather play without? And I said, without a doubt, Jeremiah Smith, only because of their depth at wide receiver.
Yeah.
We all know what Caleb Downs brings to the defense before he ever makes tackles.
Yeah. Listen, these guys are extremely talented. And when Bobby was talking about what they could do last week, it was complex to Arch Manning. It wasn't complex to Ohio State, and that was the key. In game one, Matt Patricia felt so confident that he could play that type of a defense and trust his guys.
He was so creative, and just one of many examples. Like we talk about backup defensive tackles. Who's going to be the top backup defensive tackles? Well, Will Smith looks like he's the top backup defensive tackle. He didn't play a lot. No. Malone was the next one, and he didn't play a lot. And then Jarquez Carter only played 3 snaps, but that was big for a true freshman to be in there against Texas. Right. What did Matt Patricia do a lot of times? On clear passing downs, he wouldn't even have a D tackle on the field.
Correct.
He'd have hit 3 defensive ends, like Bo Atkinson, let's say Logan George, and Caden Curry inside, and then he'd have the 2 linebackers, those 2 beasts, Arbel Reese and Sonny Styles, basically as defensive ends, and 6 DBs on the field.
Go back to that show you and I.
Devin Sanchez.
Yeah. Go back to that show you and I co-hosted this summer when we said that was exactly what he was going to do.
Thank you.
It ain't hard.
Thank you.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, it ain't rocket science.
They're playing football. All right, guys, let's get a little prediction going here pretty soon.
I went 63-3 Ohio State.
I'm looking at 63. I'll go 63-0. I'll go for the shutout, 63-0, but those are hard to get.
And you're 55-0?
Lincoln starts the second half, or no?
No, but he goes in very early in the third quarter.
Yes.
All right, I'm going 56-0.
Julius Say's a first-year starter, so you got to get him some reps.
For Jacob Reimer, back in the studio, Dan the Man Volpe, Scotty Vegas, Chanel number 5, Josh Danny Dimes Joyce, the whole crew, Tim May, Dave Biddle. I'm Anthony Rothman. Buckeye Nation, enjoy right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Riverside Bank of Dublin Game Day Traffic Center.
No accidents or major delays to report, just heavy traffic volumes. Northbound 315 from 670 to Ackerman Road. That's a really busy spot right now. On the southbound side of 315, it's busy between Ackerman and Lane. Lane Avenue is very crowded between Kenny Road and High Street. High Street is busy from 11th to Lane, and Ackerman Road has a bit of a crowd between 315 and Kenny Road. With Game Day Traffic, I'm Kate Burdett on The Fan.
Hi, Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Coming up, more football talk on The Fan.
That's right, Bob. And just like our hometown team, Worthington Jewelers is all about tradition, family, and winning moments.
Celebrate your victories with us, your hometown jeweler, Worthington Jewelers.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4 or 5.75 on RAV4 Hybrid. Excludes plug-ins. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Bobcat Enterprises says thank you for your support as they celebrate 50 years of serving the construction industry. Established in 1975 in Cincinnati, Bobcat Enterprises has expanded to 9 stores to meet you where you are in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Find equipment for any construction project, including compact track loaders and excavators. Plus, Bobcat Enterprises rents compact equipment and attachments. Find current specials and locations at bobcatent.com or follow Bobcat Enterprises Inc. on Facebook. Bobcat Enterprises, 50 years working for you. Come visit the all-new Capital Ford of Columbus today, home of the 99-cent down car deal. Visit capitalfordofcolumbus.com or call 614-861-7150. That's capitalfordofcolumbus.com or 614-861-7150. 99 cents, $399, $0 down, RCL on 25 My Escape. 10,500 miles per year available for well-qualified buyers. Excludes tax, title, licensing, and documentary service charges. Offer good while dealer supply lasts.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Still on a high from the win last week? Come to campus on game day and enjoy live music, food, and fun at the 97.1 The Fan and 10 TV tailgate at the O Patio and Pub on Lane. The party starts at 9 and continues on throughout the game. See why over 10,000 people came to party with us last week. Be at the O on Lane this Saturday. Proudly sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Coors Light, Behind the O app, and Jameson Whiskey.
Our clients deserve for us to care, and they deserve to feel serviced. They have questions, and they deserve answers. We're counselors first because I'm not selling them anything. I'm trying to teach clients how to protect themselves. At Curtis & Associates, we're personal injury attorneys. We've helped and continue to help hundreds and hundreds of clients every year. That's important to us. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, call now. 614-GOT-HURT. That's 614-GOT-HURT. Curtis & Associates. Attorneys who care.
At Kemba Financial Credit Union, we care about you. Consumers like you say they don't want monthly fees for checking, and we listen. Introducing hassle-free checking with no monthly service fee. Use it as an easy place to deposit and transfer your money, along with your everyday banking needs. Plus, Kemba's expansive digital banking services make it easy for you to bank how you want. At Kemba, we're always thinking of ways to put you and your finances first. Visit Kemba.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Restrictions apply.
We're back to football talk, but before we kick off, a quick thanks to Bob and the team at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Whether it's game day or every day, we're here to help you celebrate life's biggest moments.
Worthington Jewelers, your hometown jeweler.